Well, I looked out the window and I saw the camper pulled down in the driveway. So I guess he's wanting to go anyway. You know, kind of left it up to him because I didn't think he might have, he's pretty sore. He can't lift his arms up in the air. But he said there's just a few things that I'll have to do or help him with, which should be interesting. I might just turn the video on and just let y'all see what real life looks like when you get old and been married a long time. Just to give you something to look forward to. You know, if you're planning on getting married, it just might be a lesson, or what not to do or what to do, or maybe you shouldn't take trips like this when you can't, do something, like lift your arms over your head. Luckily, everything's pretty automatic, it's like automatic, but there's a few things that aren't. So that's where I'll come in. And that's where it's going to get. That's where, I don't know, it might not be good at all. It just might not be good at all. He gets a little cranky, and I take it a little while, and then I get a little cranky back. So anyway, we're going to go, and we're definitely going to Gulf Shores. So for Mary, I'll leave it up to you to figure out where that is, okay? I never said where I was actually going. I mean, I said I chose the beach. I think I might have said once we were going to Gulf Shores, but you don't listen. But anyhow, but that's not to say we won't ride in Florida. I mean, it's right there. And when you do some research, just go ahead and look that too, okay, hon? And listen, I have told you this before, and I'm going to tell you again because you really need to quit saying because it sounds, it's so confusing. It's confusing to me. You call your cousin your aunt. That is not your aunt. Okay, I am unfortunately one, and my two older sisters were unfortunately the other two. For them, not you. And then there was your mother. She's my sister, but she was your mother. So we have to rule her out in the aunt department, okay? So there's only three on your mother's side. Your cousins are not your aunts. So just get it. Try to understand. Just can't you watch a YouTube video or Google the order or what you should be calling the people related to you? In accordance to where they are. Like your cousin is not your aunt. Your aunt is your mother's or father's siblings or uncles. It's like aunts and uncles. That's their brothers and sisters. Your cousins are their children. So try to work on that because it's so confusing. It's just like you and your this has been bothering me. I haven't said anything about it yet, but not really bothering me. But I just was really curious. You have a lot to say about what other people do and how it affects you and how it's just awful for you. But you never ever answer to the things that you're doing. And like you said, you could prove everything in that book. I'll go over the cover, the front page if you want me to again, but you said everything. But yet I noticed in there that you talk about a crime that you said was committed by your father involving your aunt and your grandmother. So I'm really curious if this was never actually like a reported thing, but you come on there and say you're saying, you just think, what gives you the right to talk about something so personal and yet still get it all wrong? I don't understand how you can justify yourself. And the way you talked about um, my mother's children, and you just blurt out awful things that, sometimes people want to, you have like something in there that might have rang from some truth, but then the rest of it is bad. And it's not, little lies, Mary. These are lies that can change the future of things. It's lies that can devastate a family. Do you not understand that? You throw something out there, and like me, I'm trying. I have done everything to keep my immediate family from reading your trash. Thankfully, it's not a legit published book, but you know the things you wrote in there that you have a lot of the facts wrong are things that can change a lot. In fact, it could really hurt. Let's just face it, okay? Do you think my children would want to read something like you wrote? And then they're smart, so they know that you only have a couple of ants. All right, so by rule of deduction, they're gonna figure something, and they're gonna, they'll know that there's a lie there. But you guess who they're gonna talk to about it? They're gonna come and they're gonna ask me about things. You force a conversation that should never be forced. In fact, it wasn't. That's why, like people, I've heard Adonis Paul tell you, quit telling the stories that aren't yours, because that's what you're doing, and you're causing emotional damage. You're causing. I mean, me trying to keep a lot of that garbage away. It's really emotionally impacted my world, and I'm not going to change the things that I've got in motion now. I'm not changing nothing. And I'm not going to call a family meeting to go through your book, trash, to decipher, okay, guys, this word here is true, but the rest of it, she lied. I'm not going to do that because, if it's my story, then it's my story to tell and to whom I tell it to. So I don't know what gave you the right. Because what you were writing in there, if it's true, Mary, you have no evidence that that's public knowledge or that ever happened. You can't produce anything permission wise. I mean, that's harmful. You have no one by your own doing, only by your own doing. You have no family. And you chose not to have your own family. Leave ours alone. Leave us out of it. Just let us go because we don't want no part of you. I will never refer to you as my niece or a family member again. I will beat around that bush until I beat it down, but I will not. I don't want to. I know you've got a slot together, and in your world, if you need that, go ahead. But I don't. I don't. I don't have to claim you, and I don't know why anybody would. If they read anything, wouldn't they? I mean, I don't know why they didn't ask herself. Why would she? I mean, does she have permission to tell that person's story? No, she don't. You are a pathological liar to the point where it's sad that the facts it's so easily for you to prove and get the facts right. You don't. I mean, like the number of children my grandmother had. You lied about that, and I, honest to goodness, think you do it on purpose, or else you just. Well, I know you make it up as you go. That I can be sure of. But just when you're telling stories like you wanted to tell, but don't have the talent to tell, it's good to have some facts. You put that as a true story. You don't even bother to get facts, and they're easy enough to find. Just like your brother's age, I'm sitting there. I'm listening to you tell your story about him again and again and again, and you repeatedly kept saying his age, and I'm sitting there with his announcement in the paper and everything, looking at me with the age on it, and I'm like, do you think she ever thought about double checking? And now you want to do your little crybaby thing about numbers? Well, that applies to you for everything. Once you're called out on something, then you have a problem remembering, or you this. And I'm 63 years old, and I don't know squat about all this right here. This YouTube. I'm trying, and I'm I guess I'm gonna have to learn a little more because you know what? I need to be able to put links in there and things. Then I got to figure out how to do it, you know, because you're not gonna let me walk away. But I'm gonna do this on my own terms. You're not gonna demand nothing of me. You will receive. No, I mean you can look at me like you're gonna take me out tomorrow and tell me to put something up for you to see. No, ma'am, I don't have to answer to your demands. And I would love to see you figure out a way to force me to. I mean, you act like I'm somebody's scared of you. Ain't nobody scared of you whatsoever. Are you evil? Do I believe you could commit a violent crime? Yes, I do. I believe it with everything in me. I believe you can plan one. I believe you could probably talk someone into carrying it through. Am I afraid? No. Either way, either way, I am good. It's like I said, if today's my last day on this earth, I'm okay with that. Trust me, I'm good. My soul is good, and that's what comes into your blood pressure problem you got. I'm good either way because I know what I believe. I know where I stand, and I know that when I close my eyes tonight, I've done as much as I can possibly do to correct the wrongs. And if it ended today, I'd be sad because I couldn't come, you know, I haven't quite got my kids ready to take over for me on exposing you, but I'm working on. I call them kids, but they're grown. I mean, fool yourself not. They're grown. I know you're bad with math, but they're grown. Um, so anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, but I don't want to rattle. I'm tired today. I got to get towels and clothes and put them in the camper and everything else we keep in there, so that's always a blessing. So we're going to give it a try. But I will be talking to everyone else. And you never know, I might just have a little chat with Mary again. It just depends on what I have with me to show her. You know, I don't know if, you know, she's really not worth any fun. She runs fine. But, you know, if I have something that I can get to readily and when she comes up with her next bull crap lie that I can correct right then, I will. And as soon as I learn to really share things, I'll get it out even further. You know, I will. I just got to get a couple of lessons or get someone to help me. And I'm working on that too. I'm trying to find someone that'll help me. Maybe give them access when they go in there and do that, you know, until I can learn how. I don't know what I'm doing. Thanks to you, I get to learn something new. Isn't that nice of you to educate your elderly victim as you like to do? Well, talk to you later. Need to get busy. All right.